Possession stolen away, and a God bless. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday from Chicago, Illinois. Welcome inside the 6th annual Basketball Without Borders Global Camp alongside NBA veteran Donald Foyle. I'm Julio Rousseau. Thrilled you're joining us. Happy All-Star Game. Donald, we're the warm-up before the big event later this evening across the street at the United Center. We're seeing some of the brightest young talents from across the world showcasing their skills this afternoon.
Well, the way that they're playing, I'm not sure they're the warm-up. They are a serious act. They're here to perform, and this is the future of our game, so I'm very excited.
We've got playoff action here this afternoon. We've got a playoff game going on right now. The team in the royal blue, that will be the Chicago Bulls. They're coached by one of the assistants for the Chicago Bulls. The team in the white are the Rockets. They're led by coaches from the Houston Rockets organization. At the free throw line to start off this afternoon's ball game was Benedict Mathurin from Canada, an explosive, talented point guard who is highly recruited across the United States. And on the other end, a jumper falling short for the Rockets. Quick whistle. We've got 2 16-minute halves of Donald, a running clock, so it's going to be
These are players from all over the world, and they understand how big a stage this is, and they just want to put their best foot forward. So I'm very excited to see them.
Shot clock winding down at 2. And as the shot clock wind down, a double team was met. A whistle and a foul. Contact was made on 71. Juan Fernandez from Argentina, not to be confused with another Juan Fernandez who played at Temple University in 2010. Bobby Carr, 5, had the ball stolen away from him. Great defense by Aribi. Missing a second chance board off the mark for Perisovic, and a foul will send the young Croatian Ivan Perisovic.
Very frenetic pace, but one of the things you see how skilled and explosive they are. I mean, and that's going to be one of the things. It's like everybody's oohing and ahhing in the gym because these guys are going really hard and fast.
Joshua Gidey from Australia was going the full length of the floor. He missed the layup. And here come the Bulls. Again, the Bulls jerseys, the Royal Blues this afternoon. Nice dribble behind the back. No look pass inside. Off balance, hitting the deck. Counted and a foul for a very talented player from Nigeria, Samuel Aribi.
And Samuel Aribi, got that pass from Wiggness, and Wiggness has a good sense of the game, pushes the pace of the game, and always looking for his wing players. That was a very well executed fast break.
Aribi, a member of the NBA Academy in Africa. Fernandez out to Omax Prosper from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Another talented player from Australia. Contact as Fernandez was going up for the rebound, laboring a little bit with his right shoulder.
And Prosper is one of those players as well where you're going to see the future is bright for him because he has all the elements. He's quick, he has an intermediate jump shot, he's able to shoot the three-point shot, and his athleticism is undeniable.
Fernandez off of his fingertips. And a turnover for the Rockets. Dribbling down the floor, Benedict Mathurin from Canada of Haitian descent. Nice drive inside, splitting through 2 defenders. How difficult is that to make that type of a move as he was holding on to the basketball towards his left chest and then going up to the rack?
And the thing is that he's playing against bigger players, and they know his strengths, so they're trying to limit him and not give him a direct path to the basket. And he's so good at understanding his strength, when to go hard but slowing it down and giving himself a path out of the attempted trap.
Another steal for Samuel Aribi, and a nice dunk for the Canadian Mathurin, and the Bulls showcasing their great wingspan as well. Right. Defensively. Very athletic bunch. They have a 7-0 lead. Again, a running clock, 2 16-minute halves. We're also experimenting with the one-shot free throws. So one free throw will either count for 1, 2, or 3 points. That's being experimented in the NBA G League this season. A left wing three catch and shoot for Juan Fernandez, a guy at 6'9". Donald, we're really seeing the evolution in basketball where guys 6'8" and higher are much more comfortable shooting from outside the paint.
You know, I kind of started playing basketball way too early. I could have been a point guard at this point. I mean, it's truly remarkable how the game has evolved. And I think in many ways, for a good thing, because these guys are skilled. It's not like they're evolved and they can't do the skill that is required. They're very skilled.
Another skilled move inside by Omax Prosper. Spoke to Omax yesterday in day number 2 of the global camp about any intimidation factor. These young men and women are playing in front of NBA scouts, European WNBA scouts. There was really no intimidation. These guys are just out there showcasing their skills, just having fun on the floor.
And Omax is, I've seen him over the last few years develop. And what you've seen is like a guy who understands his athleticism has to be constructed in terms of strategy. So I think he's much more interested in getting better and figuring out where he could get better. But I've seen that over the course of the last few years.
Off the left window, Charles Bediaku. Talented Canadian. We spoke the other day, Donald, about the talent brewing with our neighbors from the north in Canada, and that academy system is really flourishing. We've seen alumni like R.J. Barrett's from Canada, and Andrew Wiggins a few years back was a top pick who just got traded to Golden State. The Canadian market is just flourishing with young talent.
Yeah, and there's been a deliberate attempt in Canada to really focus on youth development, creating opportunities where you can have youth that are not just playing basketball, but understanding the fundamentals and really doing a good job of putting them on a path to being successful. Youth development is where you get to have an impact on the future of the quality of basketball at a higher level.
Here's Juan Fernandez, the Argentine. Left-handed dribble, nearly lost it. And his teammate trying to help him from behind. 63, Joshua Gadea, second chance opportunity, falls short. And showing his strength inside, muscling for a two-handed rebound and foul is Charles Bediaku.
The amount of effort that's been suspended, but like these guys are playing at a frenetic pace, and they really want this. This is a for real competition.
Bragging rights on the line.
Indeed.
A lot of these guys will see each other in a couple more camps in years to come. Lobbing the outlet pass from behind and a strong finish with a timeout called. Once again, the skills highlighting of Omax Prosper from Montreal. A timeout, 9-7 is our scores. We have 2 men playoff games going on simultaneously. We have a girls playoff matchup taking place to our right. We'll have the girls championship in game 2 of our triple header.
And Omax doesn't look scared to me.
No,
I think the basket is afraid.
You know, we've seen in international competition, the United States has always been that dominant country, especially in Olympic Games, but what we saw from Spain and Argentina and the way they've been able to pick up medals in the Olympics, wouldn't be surprised if we see countries like Canada compete for a gold medal in future Olympic Games.
I think if you're an American, one of the things you worry about is that about 108 from 38 countries. The rest of the world is clearly getting better.
Yep.
And it is up to now up to us to really evaluate whether our system is still as optimum a level as it was 10, 15 years ago. And I think that it's not. I think that there's more of an emphasis of really skill development internationally, and we need to get back away from playing so much and really having a mix where it's about really talent development as well as opportunities to play, but not just playing. We really need to train a new generation.
The All-Star Weekend festivities, the amount of players competing in these competitions from all over the world, Lithuania, Japan. We saw Rui Hachimura, a Academy alum play on Friday night. It's a beautiful thing to see. Nice jump shot.
Yeah, and I think that's an amazing thing, and I think it's a testament to the concept of basketball without borders. In 2001, when they started, they have done 61 basketball without borders camp over 38 cities. Think about that across 6 continents in 30 countries, 30 cities. That's incredible.
Nice three-pointer converted just a second ago by 44 Mohab Abdelatib from Egypt. Nice point guard who we saw the other day here in this camp. Again, just countries like Egypt where not necessarily known as being basketball prowess, but you just saw the skill from Abdelatib just a moment ago. He's a talented young player.
Yeah, and I think part of it is like, the game is like so accessible. Internet, and the game has become more global. You can watch a YouTube video in a city, Oakland, or in Egypt. I mean, It's like there is no boundaries. Basketball has become almost like a breaker of barriers in a way, which makes this camp so amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Gracious.
Despite the miss, you see the frustration, but what athleticism displayed by Pepe.
Jumping around. That was an unbelievable attempt at a dunk and a fast break. Incredible.
Again, we're experimenting with one-shot free throws, so Sal converts 2 points on the one attempt. If you would have made that dunk, I think the 2 games going on right now would have stopped play
exactly
to
right.
see what just went on.
Indeed.
Soft jump shot rolling through for the Mexican Esteban Rocho, 6'3" from Mexico.
Esteban Rocho, I really like his game. I think he's aggressive. He looks for a shot to be sure, but you could see him really learning how to strategically, observe the flow, taking what he's have.
There'll be an NBA G League team in Mexico. So it'll be the first time a North American professional team will be in Mexico competing with teams across the United States.
I mean, the strategy, the NBA strategy globally has been an amazing one. Junior NBA basketball schools, then basketball without borders, then NBA academies. I mean, it is remarkable the success of this program.
Good job defensively. Nearly forcing the turnover was the Egyptian Mohab Abdelatib, who was the MVP of the 2019 Basketball Without Borders African All-Star Game.
And as these players continue to be on this stage, what you get is a little bit more confident that, every time you come, the crowd is not as frightening, and the player, you have a more sense of the competition and what to expect. So as you see these guys develop over the years, you see them become more confident as well.
What do you think the biggest takeaway for these young men and women after this weekend's over with, when they go back to their respective countries? Some still are playing high school here in the United States. What's 1 or 2 takeaways that they can go away from?
I always look at these opportunities as an assessment, being ready to assess where you're at and trying to figure out the things that doesn't come naturally in the flow of the game. So the inability to really use that left hand when you know you should. So it's an opportunity to kind of assess, going back, and really put in a goal sheet together for what you want to accomplish. Competition at the highest level with your age group. If you could really assess where you're at and become better every time, that's amazing.
We're seeing missed dunks, but I'm just amazed and impressed with the way a lot of these young athletic bigs are driving into the paint with 1 or 2 steps. It's sensational. The dunk was missed by Jerry Ngopat, 6'9", out of the Central African Republic, but
And
Tremendous
Gopat is like he's one that I think is going to get better with time. He's really tall, and he's really trying to figure out his body. You know, as big men, we take a little bit longer to develop the nuances of the game, and that the finishing touch. You see him make the move, everything is good. Just the finishing touch now. Finish the play when you get there, big fella.
Tremendous pass, a whistle and a foul will send to the free throw line for the Rockets. 52, Yannick countries waiting to break through here in the States, the Netherlands.
Indeed, and that's the great thing about this. I mean, this is like a melting pot, a global melting pot of basketball excellence.
Oh my goodness, coast to coast, counted and a foul. And again, you're seeing the tremendous athleticism by the 6'3"
today. You know, I came in thinking Wiggins is one of those players that is transformative, but Esteban is saying this is a stage, and I'm going to show you why I'm just as good as anybody else in this camp. I love this young man.
Nice glide inside. The finger roll layup is good for 68. Pepe Sao, who nearly broke the rim a moment ago with a missed dunk as Ocho steps out of play. Actually, it was poked out of play by the Rockets, so the Bulls will keep possession. 20-18, so a close game here in this first half with the running clock. Again, 2 16-minute halves here in the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp Games. Soft jump shot from the foul line. Nothing but net for the Serbian, Stefan Totudovic.
And Stefan, you know, shot that ball like he's been doing it all his life. Just go in and shoot it nice and smooth.
Bulls have a 23-18 lead as the clock stops momentarily with 31 seconds to go. We'll have the girls' championship coming up next in game 2 of our triple header, then the boys' championship to follow. And then all of these campers will get some fuel in their system and watch the NBA All-Star game at the United Center later this evening. At the free throw line is a tall Indian, 6'11", Aman Sandhu, who nimble with his feet, a big man who we saw the other day, able to shoot the three from beyond the perimeter.
Aman Sandhu, I love his game. He's tough on the inside. He's not afraid to go in and bang. He has a nice stroke out to the three-point line. But when you see him, he's a player who just goes in there and mix it up. But he understands that you could be physical and aggressive, but you still need that finesse, and he definitely has both those things.
And you mentioned about big men starting to learn their bodies at 6'11". With Basketball Without Borders in the NBA Academy, was really able to mold himself into a well-conditioned big man that's still really learning this game.
And I think what you have more than anything else is that you have really quality coaches in this program, quality big men who is teaching them not just about how to get into and come into their own body, but the importance of like the finishing touch to that as well. It's like finishing school, you know what I mean? And I think when you have somebody who is telling you that day in, day out, and is teaching you how to do that, and then you go into the game and you can feel, you can see what they're talking about. It's reinforcing. So I think it's really a testament to the coaching staff that these guys have developed as well as they have.
We've got ourselves a tie ball game, which will make the final 16 minutes of play very interesting here from Quest Multisport in Chicago, as the Bulls and the Rockets, after the first 16 minutes, are tied at 22 apiece. We're thrilled you're spending part of your Sunday with us wherever you are across the globe on the FIBA YouTube channel. Adonal Foyle, Julio Rauseo here at the 6th Annual Basketball Without Borders Global Camp in Chicago, and just a tremendous weekend seeing the bright young talent from across the globe, and the future stars of tomorrow right here.
Man, this has been so much fun. These guys are competing so hard. I think as a basketball lover, you want to see competition. You want to see people taking the moment serious, and they understand how serious this moment is and what an extraordinary opportunity it is for them. I mean, this could define the next stages
Right.
of their lives, and they understand that, and they're putting on a show today. That's what you want to see.
And we're going to see these young men and women either in the NBA, in EuroLeague, some of the top leagues in Asia, Australia. I mean, it's, as you mentioned,
Coming to a college near you.
A college near you, exactly. I mean, as you mentioned a moment ago, this truly is a melting pot of the future of basketball.
It really is. The basketball has gone global, and I think it's for better. When we look at where the NBA was 108 plus players from 38 countries, we can see a future where there's no cultural impediments to being at the highest level of basketball, where only talent matters. That is so transformative.
Second half underway. Bulls and the Rockets tied at 22. Again, if you're just tuning in, 16-minute running clock. One shot free throw that will count for either 1, 2, or 3 points, as the young Argentine Juan Fernandez on the dribble drive is fouled. And just like that, we're underway. We've got another boys semifinal to our left. As you mentioned, this competition, I have a feeling this second half we're going to see a lot of contested shots, maybe guys playing a little more aggressive defensively.
I mean, they want to win. I mean, sometimes you come in the situation and you're thinking, it's just nice to be here. No, these guys want to win.
The shooters touch inside. Benedict Marbrain, the Canadian 6'6" guard. The #1 ranked player in Canada for the class of television screens across North America in the years to come.
And it's playing like it. Really is making his presence felt out on the court today.
Tremendous rebound secured by Aribi. Wigness, the young Australian. Fernandez trying to break free from defenders. And the pass is intercepted. Aggressive defense there by Fernandez as Tamare Wigness, 5'11" point guard, quick. Definitely one of those point guards that wants to attack the rim and score. He represented Australia in the under-17 and under-19 World Cup teams.
And Tamara Wigness, I mean, really explosive, really sees the flow well, looks to pass, plays hard, takes the charge when necessary. I mean, he's been remarkable, and I've been watching him now for a while. And one of the critiques was so fast that sometimes he get in his own way.
Right.
But you can see him taking really steps back, like gearing himself now a little bit. Being able to dunk shift is such an important part of basketball, not just being able to go all the way up to speed, but being able to slow down a little bit, stop on a dime. Those are skills that is essential.
You can see the athleticism once again of 48, Benedict Marbrain, who is fouled. You can see by his
So I think what that does, it gives you a little bit of confidence. But when you see how he has been improving year over year, I think it's not unwarranted.
Other top prospects in the recruiting class of 2020, Moussa Cisse, who we'll potentially see later this afternoon, Moussa Diabate as well. Just a stew of young collegiate talent. Recruited by schools in the United States that are playing high school basketball at either a prep school or traditional high school in the States to not only get used to the American type of play, but learning the culture as well.
I mean, it's so important, right? Because, I mean, for me, it took me, well, I still haven't quite gotten over snow yet. Yeah. But I came here when I was 15. And, I mean, it was unbelievable. I've never been in an elevator, never been in an escalator. Clearly, that's not the case for a lot of people, but there is so much to overcome, from a young player. You have to be able to get up to speed academically, getting your body up to speed, training that you've never experienced before. So I think having a bridge year where you can go through a prep school and learn some of these things, by the time you get to college, it'll put you in a better situation to be sure.
And on the other side of the coin for young Europeans, it's getting acclimated to the professional team, whether it's the B team or their academy levels as well.
Absolutely, and it's just even the academic language. I mean, some of these kids are not, English is not their first language.
Right.
They got to come in here and being able to learn a new language and being able to do schoolwork at that level in a new language. That is difficult.
Quick drive from the left corner inside the paint for Tamaray Wickness, and you can hear the excitement from the Bulls. They forced the turnover. They want to win this ball game. They're up 31-22, a hot start for the Bulls in this second half of play, but that roar a second ago tells everything you need to know about these.
Oh, yeah. I mean, basketball is always fun at the beginning of the game, when you meet everybody, and then as the game goes on, everybody wants to win.
Offensive foul. Taking the charge is the big man from Argentina, Juan Fernandez. Played in the NBA Academy games in Latin America in 2018. Big man. Here's Omax Prosper. Whistle and the traveling violation is called. How difficult is it for bigs, whether it's their explosiveness or dribbling down the baseline to try to avoid those traveling calls? Is it a mixture of talking to the officials or a combination of the big man just being more patient?
Sometimes you could trick an official. So I always say, as a big man, sometimes it's important to exaggerate your movement. And what I mean by that, you got to show them that you have your pivot foot. You have to show them that you're putting the ball down, but really trying to get that ball down really quickly, to the ground. That's so important. And then part of it, I think, also is really getting the official to buy in that as a big man, I do know how to dribble the ball. That's an important part. That comes, I think, a little bit later.
And given these camps, whether it's here at Basketball Without Borders or the NBA Academy camps, these included O'Donnell, and really for these young players to learn from other bigs really how to play this game is extremely beneficial.
I mean, how awesome it is to have Vin Baker out there, teaching these guys how to play the game. I mean, he was an amazing 4-5 player, with Seattle. I mean, I've had some nightmare situations defending him, and he is giving them all that he has procured over the years, to make them better. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, Vin Baker. Think of the knowledge that is in that head and what that means to a young player.
Ebony Hoffman were guest instructors. Just the flow of information from the past and the present is endless here at the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp.
Absolutely. I mean, I was talking about, Vin Baker, George Murisan was here, Pascal Siakam, Festus Ezeli was here earlier, Jose Calderon, and I mean, it's so many. Cherokee Parks I just saw. So that all these people understand how important it is to secure the next generation. Basketball Without Borders have had over 69 players drafted into the NBA. I think it speaks to how effective this program have been in really generating the next generation of international stars.
We've got a timeout. Global, and follow on Instagram at NBA Academy. as we're streaming live all across the world on the FIBA YouTube channel. Over 500,000 viewers yesterday alone from people all across the world trying to see the bright young talent from their respective countries, whether it's in the Philippines or in the Netherlands or in Senegal, just so many people from across the globe.
Everybody told me that, cricket is always going to be the #1 sport with soccer in the world. And I said, basketball is coming along, and I think we're seeing that more and more.
I mean, when you think of the EuroLeague, you could have CSKA Moscow taking on Barcelona one evening. You could have Fenerbahce play in Tel Aviv. It's just insane how basketball has grown over the last 20 to 30 years. The young Chile, sorry, that was 44, Abdeladib from Egypt, who missed just a second ago, as the Bulls holding on to a comfortable 35-22 lead as the 16-minute running clock continues here in Chicago.
And the Rockets have stalled a little bit since the half, and part of it is that you can see them pressing a little bit, and whereas the Bulls has really been insistent and taking the lead.
First jumper this afternoon for a talented young Chilean, Felipe Iñaco, 6 feet 2 inches tall. Still deciding whether to play collegiately here in the United States or go to Europe and potentially play in the pros. A near monster jam that was rejected, but a second chance for the Bulls. And a tie-up of foul will... They're going to count the basket. They will. They'll count the basket for the Serbian, Stefan Tudanovic.
Tudanovic, I mean, he just get it up there. As I said, just put it towards the basket. You never know what will happen. And that time the ball definitely went in.
Of this second half, Iñaco, the Chilean, left-handed dribble. Directing traffic. Iñaco. Ooh, nice pass towards the corner. Rainbow three, in and out. That was a good look from the right corner for 68, Pepe Sao. Other side, the Mexicano. Rocho missing, but a nice, easy putback slam for the young freshman, Musa Diabate. 6 feet 9 inches tall, playing here in the States.
Finally, it went. One of the dunks went into the basket.
Big men are always hungry to get that first dunk.
Oh, yeah.
It's been all Bulls here in this second half. We were tied 22 apiece going into the halftime break. So the Bulls on a nice, comfortable run. And there's another slam. When one goes in, the other follows. Jerry Ngopat, the young African from the Central African Republic, 6 feet 9 inches tall, a member of NBA Academy Africa. Iñaco, once again directing traffic, goes with a cross-court pass. The shot clock winding down, galloping inside, a whistle, and a foul on 52, Yannick Craig.
And Yannick is really showing that, such a mature thing to do. Going to the basket, realizing that you may not be as physical as the other guy, shielding yourself, protecting the ball, and giving yourself an opportunity to go to the free throw line and earn it there. But getting fouled is really a skill that usually takes a longer time to develop. So when you see a young guy starting to learn that at an early age, that's pretty impressive.
Just crossed the 4-minute mark here in the second half. The Bulls are in the royal blue uniforms, white uniforms for the Rockets. Shot clock winding down, a three from the right side. Good look, just off the iron for Tudanovic.
Of second chance opportunities in a basketball game. That is how you win.
Three falling short. The rebound is off the mark. Sal missed the three. Abdeladib on the putback was unsuccessful. The ball rolls out of play. The Rockets will keep possession. How important is to teach that to young players about creating second chance opportunities and the importance of an offensive rebound?
It's so difficult because what it requires is constant effort. And, sometimes you want to think, oh, yeah, I made that. I'm going to make that shot.
Right.
A good rebounder always assumes that the shot is missed. And that's why Dennis Rodman was so amazing as a basketball player and as a rebounder, because he always assumed it didn't matter who shoot the ball, it was going to be a miss.
Right.
And that mindset takes a long time to develop, but when it does, it could be very effective.
It was a good look for Todorovic, but the ball was just unkind with the iron. Good ball movement for the Bulls around the perimeter as the shot clock's winding down to 7. Oh, nice runner. Oh. Terrific finish for the young Mexican, Esteban Rocho, 6'3" tall. Very skillful in trying to create his own shot.
Esteban Rocho, I am really falling in love with him as a player. He works hard, but that play right there, that runner is so difficult. It's usually what I call the icing for players. It's usually one of the plays that develop much later in your career. Having that initially in your game, especially when you're playing with big guys, being able to just let that runner go early is such a pivotal play in the current game.
I would have to guess a lot of practice hours has to go to find that perfect timing on the runner.
Oh yeah, and you miss it quite a bit because you're not using the backboard.
Great rebound and putback for Aman Sandu, 6'11" tall. Again, one of those young, talented centers that is really molding into his 6'11" frame that has a bright future in India.
I'm adopting Aman Sandu. I'm bringing him back home to California. I love his game. I think he's going to be a really special player, and he's going to help define basketball in India.
So I mentioned Netherlands trying to forge a path internationally with basketball. The same could be said with India. It's just a large melting pool country where you mentioned cricket. That's a top sport without a doubt. In India, tennis has really developed all across that country, but basketball seems to be that lightning in the bottle that can really flourish in India.
Yeah, and I think what you see, especially with the NBA academies, is that you go into a place like India, you're competing. Basketball has to compete with a lot of other sports.
Right.
But I always tell people that what makes basketball so unique is that it's very easy to play. It's not complicated. Yep. You don't need a lot. For cricket, you need a lot of equipment to be a cricketer, but for basketball, you need a ball. You can play barefoot. You can put up a little bucket up on a tree and make it work. So cricket has always been universal. Soccer has always been universal. I think basketball definitely has a chance to take over in that space.
That's the voice of Donald Foyle. I guess we could say near countrymen. I'm from Venezuela. You're from
we're from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we're right next door. We do a lot of trade.
Yes. I'm trying to find that next Rivas Vasquez from Venezuela, who is a Basketball Without Borders alum. Us Venezolanos, we're trying to get back into the NBA without a doubt. Abdelatif on the inbound looking to go coast to coast, and he throws it down. Kiss the sky, young man, with the right hand, the Egyptian flying high.
Oh, man. That's how you say, you 6'10" guys, this is how we do it for the guys that are under 6'10".
Mohab Abdelatif, 6'1" from Egypt, really showing his athleticism. That was sensational.
Indeed. These guys, this is such a great moment for them. Coming up. So awesome. And because they know that this is going to have some tremendous repercussion in their life and their career in a positive way. So I am so happy for them. I feel like they're like my little kids that I'm trying to encourage.
Your proud uncle.
Proud uncle, proud papa.
Now, that dunk for most watching may not have much significance, but for a young guy like Abdelatif, to do that on this type of stage, the confidence really has to start soothing.
Oh, absolutely. And what it is, confidence begets confidence. The more you do stuff like that, then it becomes not as not as frightening to do it. You understand that, yeah, I'm going to miss some dunk, but when you can go in and do it, that confidence builds and confidence builds and confidence, and give a young man an opportunity, to change his life.
Bulls with a strong second half are running down the clock to close it out. A rainbow three. Good look just off the mark. The rebound and the hook shot good for the 6'9 freshman Musa, 6'9 forward, I should say, Musa Diatabib. Wow, that was nice. And Diabate just celebrated his birthday back on January 21st. Again, playing high school ball here in the States. The Bulls advance. They'll play in the championship round in a little bit of time. That will be our third game of our triple header. Boy, they were explosive as they win 51-32, a strong second half.
And the Bulls has told me a few things. We still need big men. Big men rebound.
Right.
They run the floor. They're the block shots. All of that happened with the Bulls today. They were great. And that's how you want to see these guys come out and just play hard and have fun.
That's Adonal Foyle. I'm Julio Rauseo. Adonal with experience in the NBA, a 10-year big man. I do play-by-play broadcasting for the Windy City Bulls in the NBA G League. Thrilled you're joining us. It's been a terrific weekend here at the 6th annual Basketball Without Borders Global Games here in Chicago. Game 2 of our triple header is coming up next, and it's some of the bright young women talent from across the globe.
And they're fierce. They're just as fierce. You're going to see some high-quality basketball, and I am so excited for it. And I'm so glad that we're equally giving opportunity to the ladies as well as the guys, because they have earned every right to be here, as the guys have. And I'm really excited. And there is some of my favorite. There are some beasts in the paint, and I like to see those girls get down there and compete. I love that. I can't wait.
You can follow us all weekend long here on YouTube. We're streaming live on the FIBA YouTube channel. Our player of the game is coming up, so we'll step aside and interview our player of the game next.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Your last name again? Your last name?
Mathurin.
Mathurin.
Yeah.
Outrageous fortunes us to raise arms against the sea of trouble, and by opposing, end them to die, to sleep, perchance to dream.
Welcome back to Chicago as we get set for Game 2 of our triple header to close out the 2020 6th Annual Basketball Without Borders Global Camp. We're at Quest Multisport in Chicago. It's the Women's Championship as the bright young basketball players from across the globe are in action. It's the Lynx and the Sparks, both teams coached by assistants from the Los Angeles Sparks and the Minnesota Lynx of the WNBA. I'm Julio Rousseau alongside of Donald Foyle. Some tremendous talent on display in a matter of moments.
I mean, this is incredible. We have had 64 high school players from over 34 countries are all here, and they are giving it the best. We saw the boys earlier, now the girls are going to have their turn. And I'm telling you, the quality of basketball is in good stead, both from the male's perspective and from the female perspective. We have seen some high-quality basketball from both the male and females.
And you've seen the growth of women's college basketball in the United States, the growth of the WNBA and the leagues all across Europe. These young women have an opportunity to really forge a next great path in the future of women's basketball.
And when you talk about the impact of basketball without borders, it really giving young women across this globe an opportunity to compete at the same level and at the same stage. The NBA really committing to a WNBA and the college basketball that we've seen and the rise in the United States over the many years. I think this is an opportunity to really level the playing field between men and women.
So we had the opening tip-off go out of bounds as I think there's some issues as well with the shot clock. We've got two 16-minute halves if you're just joining us. A running clock for both halves, and we are experimenting with free throws as well. One shot to equal 1, 2, or 3 points. Did you wish you had that during your playing days, the one-shot free throw?
Man, this would be great. I mean, I always made at least one or two, so I'd have a much better percentage.
Controlling the first possession will be the Sparks, and with the right hand, the youngster from Uruguay, Camila Kirschenbaum, a member of the under-17 Uruguayan national team, an aggressive type of point guard, and you saw that on the first shot attempt.
And I just love the way she approached the game, just looking for the opportunity to take what's available.
Catch and shoot. We saw Olivia Pollard yesterday. She is not afraid as a lefty from Australia to fire the catch and shoot three. She is definitely a confident shooter.
Been there, done that. That's kind of her attitude. You know, it's open, shoot it. No hesitation, miss it. You keep running back in defense. I love her mindset about and how she approaches the game.
Once again, an aggressive move inside for Kirschenbaum. She misses on the floater from the baseline. Oh, tremendous move inside, a whistle and a foul, but a nice move by a talented French woman, 6 feet 4 inches tall, a center, Aminata Gaye. She is outstanding from the paint.
I like Gaye. You know, as a big man and as a girl in the paint, you want to not be afraid to use your body, and she embraces the contact. That is so awesome. She's gonna have a coach at the college level just happy to have her on a team, setting picks, doing the dirty work inside. I love her game.
You can see her aggressiveness defensively as well, changing the direction of the shot just a second ago on Paula Freire Ruiz, the young Spaniard.
And this game, too, is at a really awesome pace. And it's moving quick.
Missing the reverse, getting her own rebound is Gaye, and the pass intended for Anna Gret Asi from Estonia goes off of her fingertips with the oohs and ahs, not just from you, but from those watching as well, the way Gaye was handling inside the paint.
I mean, Gaye reminded me there of a little bit of Kevin McHale with the step through. I mean, it was sharp. I love that.
Sparks in the royal blue uniforms have possession. Wow, they ruled a traveling violation, although there was some little defense there that changed the direction, but that was a nice move inside for number 11 from Colombia, Nali Cortez Espida.
And Espida, you know, she's going to train the referee that she can do a lot of interesting things out on the floor.
And you mentioned that in our first game of our triple header about learning, these youngsters learning how to talk to the officials. More times than not, lobbying and being polite in certain situations is much better than the aggressive tone.
I think so, because I think what you want to do is educate the referee about what you can do on the floor. This is going to be a long time. You're going to be playing ball for a long time. You have an opportunity to say, just hold the whistle a little bit. I think I got that, you know. And most referees want to get it right, so they will take an extra look. It doesn't hurt them. They might still call, you know, the play, but they might take an extra second to see things develop.
So the Sparks have the basketball. It's a 5-2 ball game. 16-minute running clock. Driving inside. Strong finish with the right hand. Tremendous job by the 6'4" Spaniard, Paula Freyo Ruiz.
Freyo Ruiz. I mean, that was a really big-time move off the glass, getting the contact, observing the contact, and putting the ball up the glass, making it soft enough so he has a chance to go in. Big-time move.
Women's college basketball fans will see a lot of Freya Ruiz. She's committed to play at the University of Miami, highly regarded school in the ACC conference. We're tied at 5 in this girls' championship game. Someone is going to be hungry for a victory. There's no doubt about that.
This is the championship game, and you know there's some brass on the line. There's some trophies on the line. You know, you want to go home a little heavier in your backpack.
For a lot of these young women, it's their first time in Chicago at a prestigious camp like this. A chance to walk away winners, a little bragging rights. You got the chest sticking out a little bit more. You're the best in the world.
No, absolutely, and you want to do it right because you want them to keep doing this. You know, you want that stage to always be, you know, both the man and the woman. You want to have that opportunity. So when you come in here, you're playing not just for yourself. You're playing for the rest of the you know, the young woman out there, but the young woman yet to come.
Florencia Niski, 5 feet 4 inches tall from Uruguay. We saw her yesterday at Donald, a very aggressive point guard.
I love Niski. I just think the way she approached the game, she's like, you know, I'm not the tallest girl out here, but I'm going to compete. I'm going to be at my best, and if I'm not just as tall, I'm going to run. I'm going to be fast.
Great recognition defensively. Poking the ball out of play was number 19, Daniela Gonzalez Viveros from Colombia. Sparks keeping possession. A quick whistle and a foul. Yara Osama Hussein, 6'1" center from Egypt, part of the under-16 Egyptian national team. Seven 5's our score. Again, just underway here in the early going of the first half. We've got someone on the floor. The officials are waiting for, oh, actually the shot clock left side of the floor is powered off.
Temperamental.
Temporary pause in action with 9:57 left. Again, thrilled you're joining us. You can follow us on Instagram at NBA Academy. You can follow us throughout social media utilizing the hashtag BWB Global, Basketball Without Borders Global Camp, the 6th annual. This is the 3rd time these games have been streamed across the country. We're live on the FIBA YouTube channel, and it really gives those across the globe a chance to see these young, talented prospects in a very competitive setting like this.
No, this is amazing. I mean, if you're a parent back home and you send your kids out, you know how nerve-wracking that is. Being able to see them compete, I mean, how amazing is that? I mean, I think that what Basketball Without Borders, you know, has done has been remarkable. I mean, if you think about the fact they've had since 2001 really 61 Basketball Without Borders camp, 38 cities, 30 countries, and 6 continents. I mean, that's remarkable. And think of the reach of these players out here. Really, really remarkable.
First shot attempt was off the mark for the Sparks. And 27, Osama Hussein. She picks up the rebound. Lightning fast on the fast break, but a late pass. Second chance, bucket goes through. And count the basket for the young Spaniard Mama Dembele Toray from Spain.
And I like that. You know, I mean, I think that what you're seeing is these young ladies are playing at an amazing pace, and they're being highly competitive. And everybody wants a chance to win this game.
Ball takes a late bounce. It will dribble out of play. 8-7 is our score as we hit this 9-minute mark of the first half. Sparks and Lynx, and off the inbound, one dribble with the right hand off the window. Daniela Gonzalez Viveros from Colombia.
And Daniela has been playing well. I mean, she played well yesterday, and you can see her again when she come in. She really wants to have an impact on the game right away.
Camila Kirschenbaum is fouled on the dribble drive. She'll head to the stripe. For a young point guard, sometimes contact is something you're almost reluctant to do, but that's an aspect of a game that all guards have to learn.
It really is a skill. I mean, nobody wants to get hit.
Right.
I certainly don't right now, but I think that what you start learning is that if you initiate it and you give yourself a chance and you protect the ball, it becomes a skill like anything else. Being able to take that hit, embrace it, and then make the basket.
Rebound for Gaye. Second chance for the Link. Asi, Gaye, missing, gets her own rebound, takes a dribble. Great use of the pivot. Gaye was calling for it, but the pass was misdirected and out of play.
And, you know, Gaye's been doing really a great job inside, keeping the ball high, looking for what she have. If she doesn't have anything, really getting it back out to one of her teammates. What I would like her to do is to just get a little bit lower, take the hit, and really push through the hit. I think that's the next iteration of her game.
Kirschenbaum, with two defenders in front of her face, got the ball rejected by the youngster from France, Serena Kessler. Clock runs, 7:09 left in this first half. The girls' championship game here in the Basketball Without Borders Global Games. And you can see the defense for Gaye just sticking the hand in the air, change the direction of the shot.
I'm really learning about the principle of verticality, keeping it down, not swiping down, but just keeping the ball up. Sometimes it's really about just making the shot more difficult, not blocking the shot. But by doing that, you have to make that offensive player think just a little bit as to whether or not she can put enough arc to get the ball over that outstretched hand.
And ooh, nice drive, but the ball just unkind to the iron for the youngster from Spain, number 5, Mama Dembele Toray. Just celebrated her birthday a while back on January the 20th. A very quick, more defensively minded guard. Got my numbers mixed up there, my apologies. Maggie Bestlink, number 5 from Canada. A young Canadian under 19 Canadian national player, 6'3" guard. 10-9 is our score. Very defensive battle between both sides, and I think this game's going to come down to the final few possessions of this game because both teams hungry for this victory.
And it's a championship game as it should, so I think what you want to see is that you kind of leave everything out there, everything you can, just leave it in the flow, compete as hard as you can, and you know, let the chips fall where it may.
And at the free throw line, the free throw is good. And converting it was Serena Kessler. 11-10, Link with a 1-point lead. Weaving away from defenders, stopping, pivot, short. But even when shots don't fall as an offensive play, when you get those good looks, you've got to tip your cap. That was a good look for Nelly Cortez Espida, the Colombian.
Yeah, and I think what you want to do is, are you putting yourself in the right situation to execute? Sometimes the ball is not going to go in the basket, but you can give yourself a really good chance to make a good shot.
Step in three off the mark for Charlotte Cavallo from Senegal. .430 to go. Terrific defense by Beslick. Fast break, the scoop layup is off the mark. Almost got 2 for 2, the steal and the bucket. And fast on the other end, Kessler with the easy putback.
Indeed. And I mean, I think that the pace is a good pace here. We have a good competition, good level of skill. It's everything you want in a championship game.
Right place, right time, underneath, off the right window for Cavallo.
And Charlotte Cavallo get the ball up off the glass, which is the way you want it. That was a nicely executed play down low.
Anagret Assi missing the jumper a second ago from the left wing. Back and forth we go in this first half. It's 13-12 in the women's championship game.
Yeah, these ladies are competing really hard, and you really got to respect that. They understand this stage. They understand the moment. I mean, all these people are watching them compete at center court, and they're giving it all they have.
Kirschenbaum, the ball handler. A whistle and an offensive foul. Young women in the camp being instructed by some of the top players in the WNBA. Ashley Battle, Michelle Von Group, Ebony Hoffman. I mentioned Cherokee Parks was here this weekend. And the growth of women's basketball throughout the world. Here in the States with the way Connecticut Huskies, their reign of dominance in women's college basketball, to teams in the WNBA. We just saw the Washington Mystics pick up a big WNBA championship. The leagues across Europe, WNBA players during their offseason playing in Europe. Women's basketball is really a year-round sport that is continuing its growth in popularity.
And the legacy of Tennessee as well. I mean, I think what you've seen is that there have been some torchbearer really carrying the legacy of the game. But now I think it's more than that.
What a finish. Contested layup, the reverse good for Nelly Cortez Espida.
And Nelly put some body English in that one.
Cross court, catch and shoot three, off the mark for Rimdahl. Loose ball, whistle, and a foul. Alberti Rimdahl from Denmark. Her sister plays for North Dakota State University in warm Fargo, North Dakota. You spent some time in the Twin Cities, so you know how warm it is during the wintertime.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My island blood, man.
Little sarcasm for those across the globe, where Minnesota, North Dakota, cold just like Chicago this time of year. Catch and shoot three for Pollard. The Australian was off the mark, but the putback good for the Estonian Anagret Assi.
And Assi had really great timing in that, getting the offensive rebound, putting the ball back into the basket, nice off the glass.
15-14 is our scores. We approach the final minute. Ooh, terrific stop. Couldn't get the bucket to roll through, but that was a difficult look, making it look easy. And they're going to call the offensive foul. Espida missing, but they'll call the offensive foul on 26, Paula Freire Luis.
I don't know. I'm going to take issue with that offensive foul. I was wanting the ladies to get low in the paint and create space. There might have been a little contact, but I like that. I like that toughness in the paint. Come on, ref, let them play.
Coming from a man, Donald Foyle, who spent his time power forward, a center during his days at Colgate and in the NBA. First round draft pick, 8th overall, correct?
That's what it told me.
With the Orlando Magic. Shot clock down at 8. Pollard missing on the runner. And as we mentioned during the first boys game, those runners, that's a really difficult shot to make.
The runner is very difficult. I mean, if you look, I mean, it takes guys years and years, late in the career, to develop that shot because you are going full speed. It requires you to have the right amount of arc, and not many people bank it off the glass, so you have to have the right touch as well. Right. And then there's somebody trying to take a charge. So I mean, I remember getting into the league. I got into the league in 1997, got drafted by the Warriors, and got a chance, to play later in my career with Don Nelson. And he had us really just learning that move every single day in practice because he thought it was so important so people can't take charges and use. So it's so important to get that as part of your arsenal.
Paulo Freire Ruiz was at the free throw line. Final minute of the first half, so they were resorted back to the traditional 2-shot free throws. And got another. So 28 seconds left in the first half. It's a 1-point game. And at the free throw line, Florencia Niski, the aggressive Uruguayan who is a two-way player we've seen over the last 2 days here in the global camp. Niski. I just really love her. I love her attitude. I love the way she approaches the game. She's fiery. She just doesn't yield anything to anyone. 2 for 2 during that trip. And as expected in this championship game, closely contested, back and forth. The lead hasn't been as high as 2 or 3. Final seconds. Winding down, controlling the ball is Kirschenbaum, the Uruguayan. Dribbled behind the back with 5 left on the shot clock. Kirschenbaum, the drive. Kirschenbaum, the runner off the window. Looking for the rebound was the Spaniard. Final seconds, the prayer from half court was on target for the Estonian Annegret Assi. It goes off the mark, but that does it for the first half of play. That was a great look at half court, and even better first half of play.
Are you not entertained? The ladies were absolutely unbelievable. Quality basketball, quality playmaking, competitiveness, everything you want in a championship game. I am so proud of them, really enjoying this stage, taking advantage of it, and giving us a show.
And for these ladies, final 16 minutes of basketball for them in the Basketball Without Borders global games here in Chicago. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to leave it all on the floor. Final time for some of them here in Chicago. A lot of them, it's their first trips to the United States.
Yeah, and this is so big, right? I mean, I don't think you can underestimate like how difficult it is getting in a plane, coming here, not knowing the circumstances you're going to be in, and coming out and performing well.
Right.
And in front of an audience, people taking notes, they're watching you, they're judging you. These ladies came out and said basketball is universal. We're just going to come out and have fun.
That's a Donald Foyle. I'm Julio Rouse Salefield. You're joining us here at the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp. Follow us all weekend long on social media. Hello to those watching throughout the world on the FIBA YouTube channel. Utilize the hashtag BWBGlobal throughout the weekend. And for these athletes, they're the appetizer for the main dish later on this evening as they go to the All-Star game.
Oh, no, it's really great. I mean, coming out here, getting a chance to really admire players and getting to see them up front and up close at the All-Star game. I mean, how incredible to have your vision of your best player, the player that you grew up watching, performing in front of you. Yeah. I mean, that is amazing.
I'm sure you wish you had this opportunity as a youngster.
Man, I wish, right? It's like, it's such a cool thing. I remember the first time I met Akeem Olajuwon, I was in the league. The first time I met Patrick Ewing, I was in the league. Having them come out to a game and getting to see them would have been amazing.
You heard the ooze from the audience. Serena Kessler, step back 3 was on target. It hit the front of the iron, but that move alone drew the waves of the audience.
And that's what you want to see is giving yourself a chance to really compete and really shoot a good shot.
Great ball movement here by the link to start the second half of play. Niski. Confident ball handler. You saw the step back, weaving from a defender, pulling up the jumper, and the ball just didn't want to go in.
I think there's a little bit of a lid on the basket down that side.
And the pace is picking up to start this second half of play. But great handle by Niski a second ago on the other end. Good rejection by Balafreo Luis, the Spaniard who will play college basketball at the University of Miami.
16-17, we have a ball game and we have some competition. These young ladies are performing and playing so hard, and you can tell they really want this.
Step back three, short for Niski. A second chance opportunity for the Link. Reverse layup, no. Third chance, flying on the sky hook was short. And the rebound controlled for the Sky.
And the Lynx said it's setting like rebound might be a way for them to get a competitive edge. And I don't think that is definitely true.
So the Sparks have it. The Sparks and the Lynx here in the girls' championship. Ball stolen away, fast break. And missing on the layup was Kessler.
And that's the next step, really slowing it down a little bit, giving yourself an opportunity to kind of just not go as fast, but you can get that angle and figure out where you want to put the ball.
Now, as Niski takes the spill, she'll shoot a free throw coming up. A lot of the times you hear from coaches, don't overthink on the floor, but as you just mentioned with maybe slowing it down when you're on the fast break, how important is it for a player in terms of practice to try to give yourself that mental reminder to slow it down when you're on that fast break?
I usually like to think of it as like the gear shifts in a car, right? You don't want to always be at 5. You want to be able to go from 5 to 4, down to 3, and move back up to 4 when needed. Just giving yourself that visibility and that line of sight where you can attack and not always be at 100%. We're almost a little bit out of control. You want to be able to downshift a little bit. That becomes very important in terms of accuracy and position.
3-point ball game. Whistle and a foul. Great ball handling skills by Nelly Cortez Espida. And again, the difficulties for someone who is driving in from the wing into the paint. You have that first stop. How important is it mentally to remind yourself you have to use that pivot and not try to slide your feet?
Well, basketball game at its essence is about counter, right? You want to make a move, somebody's going to be there, and then you have to counter. Counter require you to sell the initial move. So you should always have in your mind that you may not get where you want to get to, and you have to counter in that situation.
What a finish, coast to coast. Serena Kessler, we've seen these moves from her throughout the second half of play, and this time the ball very kind to the iron going through, but a terrific finish.
And that was an amazing move.
And on the other end, back and forth they go. Nelly Cortez Espida with the right-handed finish. 3-point ball game. The Aussie, Pollard, shoves the one-handed pass, leaning in for a 3, which circles out for Gonzalez Vevidos. Bounce, what a block by Kessler. She's having herself a great second half. Dribbles behind the back, the crowd oohing. Another pass behind the back. And a fantastic finish, all set up by the Frenchman, Serena Kessler.
And Serena has been on fire today, looking for her teammates, reading the floor, and creating opportunities, for the rest of her team. This is some really high-quality basketball.
23-18. Link with the lead. Rebound with the shot clock winding down. That was off the mark for Daniela Gonzalez Viveros. Pollard. Back to Kessler. She's been hot this second half. Heat check 3. You can see the confidence as she's stepping back towards the backcourt.
The swagger backwards, yeah. I set that up. I knew what I wanted. From the moment she got the ball, she wanted a shot, and she laid her man in a trap and really got a well-executed 3.
It's been the Serena Kessler show in this second half of play for the Link, as we get a whistle and a foul. Now it looks to be on Maggie Bestlink.
And Serena Kessler, what you're seeing is that she's playing on both ends of the floor, really competing defensively. And as a coach and as a teammate, you want to have those opportunities where you see the best player not only doing the offensive part of the ball, but really being able to commit to the defensive part as well. That is so important, and it makes you set the pace for the rest of the team as she find Gai inside for that easy layup.
28-20. Link with an 8-point lead. Left corner catch and shoot three. That's off the mark for Emilia Shear from New Zealand. Gai, easy finish. Big smile on her face with the left hand.
Beasting it inside. That's how you do it. Make the easy layup, and the hard one, go get some offensive rebound, and next thing you know, you put yourself in a situation to potentially be MVP of this game.
There's a blocking foul. It's been the Serena Kessler show in this second half on both ends of the floor. Defensively with a couple of steals, offensively with her ball handling skills. She made a three a moment ago with a little bit of swagger at the end, and now she's at the free throw line with a 10-point lead as the clock continues to run with 8:40 to go, but you can tell she's going to have an impact in years to come.
Oh, she is. I mean, her approach and mindset to the game is beautiful to watch. She concedes nothing. She competes. That's what you want to see in an up-and-coming player.
Runner off the mark for Kirschenbaum. On the other end, the New Zealander getting the reverse layup, counted, and a foul. Yasmin Kalihai Fulu, 6 feet forward, out of New Zealand, a member of the under-17 New Zealand national team. A fantastic length, good on both ends of the floor, and you just saw inside the way she was able to glide down the baseline to get the reverse finish.
And Fulu was amazing in that, but Gai set an amazing pick inside to give her some space. I really like the way the Lynx are playing. They're competing.
Rejection by Kalihai Fulu. Sparks on a third opportunity. Runner, ooh, nice finish. Camila Kirschenbaum, the Uruguayan.
And Kirschenbaum is showing that she could get into the middle of the paint and be competitive in there and create her own shot. Very, very impressive.
Catch and shoot. Falling short for Rimdahl, but a second chance opportunity. We spoke a moment ago about the importance of creating second chances. The Link have been doing that in this second half. Contact is made, and a free throw coming up for Yasmin Kalihai Fulu.
And Fulu is getting some great drives to the basket, but that was all set up by Gai, again, getting an offensive rebound and giving her team another opportunity. When your big man does the job well, it really helps the team to give themselves extra opportunities offensively. That's amazing.
Now, we've spoken about the positionless basketball on the men's side of things in the game. That's not the same on the women's side of things, where you're really seeing the evolution of the point guard to the center position, where athleticism is really starting to shine in the women's game.
You know, I always say is that basketball is about people. It's about personnel. If you go in and get 20, 40 rebound, everybody's going to take notice. So that's all you have to do is play the game.
Deep three. We've seen the aerial display from Olivia Pollard all weekend long from beyond the arc, and she drains it again.
No fear.
84-24 with under 6 to play in this girls' championship game. Nice footwork inside, one dribble, the spin off the window for 27. Yada Osama Hussein, 6 feet 1 inches tall from Egypt.
Osama Hussein on that one was, just patient, using the counter move, faking one side and rolling back into the middle. Makes a big man very happy to see that.
And again, those are skills that are acquired over time. That's lots of practice hours to put in that type of work inside the paint.
No question about it. Being down low and being competitive But getting your body to do what it wants, you first have to learn the basic move in order to be able to roll out the counter. And what you're seeing is years of practice.
Left corner, catch and shoot three is good. What an afternoon for the Link, and the Dane, Alberti Rimdahl, drains the three.
And Rimdahl is another player that I really like, her feistiness and the flow, the way she approaches it. She may not be the biggest person out there, but she is very skilled.
Counted and a foul for Camila Kirsenbaum. Very aggressive in that sequence to create her own shot. 41-29 as the clock continues to run. 4:20 to go in this second half of the girls' championship game.
And we're having a hockey substitution right now.
Of the full line change.
The full line change.
Niski, the Uruguayan, threading the needle inside. Pollard, another step in three, no. Rebound, securing it with two hands. It was Gonzalez Viveros. And Pollard pass intercepted by Balafreo Luis.
And the Lynx has been really unbelievable on the boards. And if they continue to do that, give themselves a great opportunity to come away with a championship.
Niski, fast break. I see a lot of Jason Williams, the talented point guard formerly with the Sacramento Kings. Just the way she handles the ball, Niski from Uruguay.
I mean, and I think that's the thing about it, right, is that you could have all the different kind of role models. There's so many great players who have played the game, both from the women's side as well as from the guy's side at the highest level. So these young ladies have role model galore to pick from.
A deep three for Serena Kessler is off the mark. And trying to save possession was Fulu. But the Sparks in transition, hitting the floor hard. But free throws coming up for the Sparks and the Colombian Nelly Cortez Espida.
And Nelly, it took a hard shot there, but you could tell she gave up her body to give herself an opportunity to get that layup between two defenders. Very, very impressive.
Coming up next is the boys' championship game to conclude the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp, as the bleachers are starting to get filled with NBA scouts as we wind down this terrific camp here from Chicago. With just over 2 minutes to go, we still have ourselves a ball game, a collision, and the ball goes right back to the Sparks. 2 minutes left in the game. It's 41-33. The Sparks making a late comeback.
And what you're seeing here now is that these young ladies, we have just about a minute 49 left in the game, and now it's about executing and really giving yourself a chance to leave a lasting impression for all the people here watching.
And a traveling violation is called, as we're down to our final 90 seconds of the girls' championship game. We've seen just tremendous basketball from the young women all weekend long, and we've seen from all different countries represented. Latin America, Egypt represented, Estonia. I remember talking yesterday to Annegret Assi from Estonia. This is her first trip ever to the United States in a prestigious camp like this. Not only are they going to take away the great experience, but memories that will last well past their playing career.
And now they have an opportunity to see the growth of the game and where the game is at. These young ladies are being able to judge themselves against the best in the world. There is nothing more empowering and kind of liberating than that, because you're getting to see where you need to get to be the best.
6-point ball game. Nice finish inside by the 6'4" Spaniard Palafreo Ruiz, as the Lynx with the closeout this second half strong. And what a strong finish for the young Frenchwoman, Serena Kessler. She's had a big second half.
She has been the highlight of this game, to be sure. She has put her imprint on this game, and she's letting the world know that she's here to stay.
Kessler once again on the fast break. Nice pass behind the back, Guy. And the ball movement working to perfection, Daniela Gonzalez Viveros.
And Serena Kessler is looking for her teammates, and you know, as a teammate, you love it when the best player not only takes shots, but when she looks for other people as well. That makes you feel so good. You want to work for her. You want to work for your teammates. That is such a good thing to be able to have as such a young player. That ability to not only take care of yourself, but take care of your teammates, giving them the ball when they're open, making the right play. That's a lesson that could take a long time for most people to learn.
Camila Kirschenbaum will shoot the final free throws of the afternoon for the Sparks. As Kirschenbaum will head back to Uruguay with tremendous experience here at the global camp. And the Link, you could see their reaction. They will walk away as the best team this weekend on the ladies' side as they win 45-37 and close out the Basketball Without Borders global camp as the girls' champions.
I mean, how excellent is that, right? You come in here, you give yourself an opportunity to perform at the highest level. You get all these amazing people coming in, coaching you, teaching you how to play this game, and then you go out and able to execute. That's what it means to really have a moment, and this is a moment to be sure. All these people are here watching them, and they are performing at their best. How incredible is that?
Donald Foyle, I'm Julio Rouseo as the Link win the girls' championship 45-37, and you heard the reaction from the crowd during this game. A lot of attention was being paid, a lot of respect was being paid as well to these young women.
Basketball is universal. You play it at a high level, it doesn't matter who you are, people are going to respect that. Real basketball player respect basketball. And when it's played at this level and you see the effort and you see the skill, if you love basketball, you ought to love that. That was amazing.
We'll have our final game of the afternoon coming up next. It's the boys' championship. We'll take a quick break and we'll talk to our player of the game from the girls' championship game. It's Serena Kessler from France. We'll talk to her next. Thank you.
Sir, you are killing it today.
Thank you. Okay.
How are you? Congrats.
Translator?
Yes, sir.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
What part of France are you from?
France.
What city?
Quelle ville est-ce que tu
Lyon. Lyon. Lyon.
Lyon?
Lyon.
Lyon.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp here in Chicago. I'm Julio Rouseo, talking with a talented youngster from Lyon, France. Bonjour. Serena Kessler, a fantastic second half. What excited you the most about picking up the win?
Qu'est-ce qui a excité toi le plus pour gagner ce jeu?
La defense, the rebound, the run, all of this for a win this game.
There was a three-pointer in the second half from the top of the key. You made it. You did a little shimmy, stepping back. Talk to us about how confident of a player you are on the floor.
Qu'est-ce que c'est ton confiance sur le jeu quand tu es sur le terrain? Parle de cela.
Everything when I make a great defense, I am totally in confiance. So in offense, that's too easy for me for play and for all of things.
What's the biggest takeaway you have after experiencing this camp here in Chicago?
Qu'est-ce que tu as appris de cette camp? Qu'est-ce que tu vas apporter à la maison?
Tu peux traduire ce que je veux dire? Je peux traduire.
Oui.
La discipline, le fait de toujours être la rigueur,
always be tough and always be determined.
La défense, enfin toujours communiquer en tout cas.
Always communicate.
Et vraiment être physique en fait. Et avoir la bonne finition, la bonne lecture de jeu.
Finish and have good vision.
Yeah. and all, I think.
And before we let you go, basketball is truly a world's game. How exciting was it for you to play with women from all over the globe this weekend?
Comment est-ce que tu étais excité pour jouer avec tout le monde autour de la monde, les
Yeah.
filles ici?
Une semaine avant, j'ai vraiment pensé à cette semaine. Enfin, j'étais vraiment excitée de me confronter face à d'autres joueuses du monde entier.
1 week before she came, she was so excited to come here because she was so excited to play.
Enfin, c'était vraiment une opportunité pour moi pour comment dire, apprendre face à d'autres, on va dire, cultures.
She learned a lot in terms of having to learn to play with different cultures and different languages and stuff like that.
Merci, bonjour, thank you
Merci.
so much.
Thank
From
you.
Lyon, France, our player of the game, Serena Kessler, will take a break. The Boys Championship concludes the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp next.
Okay, thank you.
Ooh.
Live from Quest Multisport in Chicago, it's Game 3 of our triple header here at the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp. It's the boys' championship game featuring the Bulls and the Knicks, both teams coached by assistants from the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks, alongside NBA veteran Donald Foyle. I'm Julio Rousseau. Thrilled you're joining us for the conclusion of the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp here in Chicago. And Donald, we're going to see someone on the floor this afternoon who is a sensation all across the Philippines in Kai Soto.
Kai Soto, I mean, he is a legend now, and you know, we were getting some online encouragement to make sure that we talk about him.
He's huge in the Philippines.
Yes,
no doubt about that.
So, I mean, we like the fans engaging and demanding what they needed, and we're going to give it to them today. So there you go.
Excited to see Kai Soto in person. He's had an outstanding camp. So have the Bulls. We saw them in Game 1 of our triple header. Really explosive, a group of young men who are tall, athletic, with great wingspans.
No, this is amazing. This is 64 of the best, you know, high school boys and girls around the world from 34 different countries. When you talk about how our game have grown, it is right here. This is a testament to how far our game has gotten, and I cannot wait for this championship game.
Should be a good one. More scouts are starting to pile into the main gym here at Quest Multisport. And speaking to most of the players this weekend, doesn't really seem like any intimidation with scouts with notebooks open, jotting down almost every single play.
Of course, I prepared them brilliantly for this. You know, I told them, I said, don't look over there in the stand. Just focus on what you're doing on the floor. You know, getting a chance to work with the kids about the importance of being mentally present and being on the floor, doing some visualization as part of the life skills. We have an opportunity to really set them up for what they're going to experience this weekend. And I'm so proud of how they've handled it. They've handled it like adults. Oh, yeah. I was more nervous for them than they were great. They're out there having a good time. I was nervous. I'm like a papa on the outside thinking, oh my God, my young ones. But they've been amazing and brilliant.
Big men respect other big men. You just got a pat in the back a second ago from George A. Mirosa, who played with the Washington Bullets in the 90s in the NBA. Wouldn't be surprised if he has his eye keened on a guy like Kai Soto or some of the guys from the Bulls this afternoon.
Oh, no doubt about it. Everybody's coming in, hey, so what do you think of this guy? And what do you think of this guy? And all I keep saying, they're all brilliant. They're all my young ones.
Getting set for tip-off, both teams going through their final warm-ups, and for both the young men and women at this camp, final game, and then they'll have a meal, and then they'll go see the best in the world at the United Center in Chicago for the All-Star game to close out this weekend. It's got to be an incredible treat, memories that will last a lifetime, not just at this camp, but all the experiences they had at All-Star Weekend. When you look at the skills competition last night, when you saw a guy like the Latvian sniper in Matins in the three-point shootout, when you see Giannis Antetokounmpo making a cameo in the dunk competition, when you see Taco Fall make a cameo in the dunk competition, and so on and so forth. I mean, the amount of superstars from the international ranks in this All-Star game for all of these young international players to see has got to be a treat.
I mean, we continue to say there's over 108 international players in the NBA. And I think over 69 players came out from Basketball Without Borders. We're not sure how many of these guys are going to be NBA players, but they have an opportunity to come up front, up close. With some of it is the people that they have looked up to for most of their lives. But more than that, they're seeing a stage of what could be. And there is nothing more amazing than having that dream really become a little bit clearer by seeing where you could be as a player. That is quite illuminating.
Getting set for the opening tip. The Bulls will be in the dark blue uniforms, the Knicks in the gray home white uniforms. And at center circle, 82, Kai Soto for the Knicks. He's opposed by 57, Charles Bediaku. Both of these young men could be seeing each other down the road, maybe on an NBA floor, maybe on a Division I floor. Both highly recruited young athletes. Soto playing his high school ball here in the United States. Bediaku playing his high school ball as well in the States member of Team Canada. It's going to be a good look at the future of basketball in this championship game.
Man, this is so exciting, and you could tell that they're enjoying this moment. They're a little bit nervous. There's some butterflies in their stomachs, but they know that this could be a defining moment in their life. This could be the moment when somebody take a look at them and really lay a path forward for their future. This is a big deal.
Patiently waiting the opening tip. Thrilled you're joining us throughout the world on the FIBA YouTube channel. You can follow us utilizing the hashtag BWBGlobal as we conclude the 6th annual Basketball Without Borders Global Camp here in Chicago as part of NBA All-Star Weekend. The bleachers still getting filled with scouts from across the NBA.
And we have a temperamental shot clock on the left-hand side of the court. They've been trying to fix before the game gets started. There is a lot of technician over there making sure that this has been resolved expeditiously.
So we may just use one shot clock on the far end of the floor. That would be the front court right, as we again patiently wait for the opening tip to get underway, and monitoring the FIBA YouTube channel during the live stream over the course of this weekend. All parts of the world are glued to watching this global games, really to see the future from countries like the Philippines, Australia, Canada, Estonia. It's great to see. We've got Germany, Mali, Lithuania, Senegal represented in this game alone as the opening tip-off of the final game of the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp is underway. The Bulls in the dark blue uniforms control the first possession. Tamare Wiggness with a nice pass inside. Flying high was the Canadian Benedict Mathrain.
And Benedict Mathrain really starting off right where he left off in the last game. He has been playing at an amazing clip, really making a play for being the best player in this camp.
Knicks with their first possession. Kai Soto. Quick dump pass to the Brazilian, and a corner three is off the mark from, we'll get that number again for you in just a second. That was 79, Owen Chu from China. Kai Soto tried to dribble behind the back, lost possession, and the Bulls get it right back. Flying high, changing his direction, seeing Soto was right in front of him, was Benedict Mathrain. That is difficult when you have a defender in front of you and at the last second you change the direction.
I mean, Benedict Mathrain, I think learning how to use his body in the air, that is a skill, again, that is so difficult to develop for young players, because you have to be able to anticipate what the defense is going to do and then counter while you're in the air. Pretty remarkable. I think he's really making a play for MVP of this camp.
14:30 left in this championship game. Wiggness, aggressive, driving inside, had the ball stolen away from him, and instead they will rule a jump ball. Nice defense by Augustis Mashunonis from Lithuania, whose father is in the Basketball Hall of Fame, class of 2014. With an outstanding career in the NBA. Inadvertent whistle, they'll reset right in front of the scores table. So the Knicks, in their second trip inside, intended for Soto off of his fingertips. They'll say last touched by the Bulls, and 57, Charles Bediaku.
And Soto has to really drop his body a little bit and point towards the ground. He wants that ball low, not too high where they can get a take on it.
Look out! That jam almost went through, but you heard the reaction from the crowd. That would have been something spectacular for Mathrain. You could just see the athleticism.
Benedict Mathrain, he's been playing at an amazing clip all weekend.
Shot clock was winding down, and they will rule a foul on Owen Chu. Owen Chu from China, number 79. He's 6 feet 9 inches tall. Was born back in July 1st of 2002. At the free throw line will be 57. Charles Bediaku from Canada, ranked 24th in the recruiting class of 2021 here in the United States. He trains the free throw. Experimental rules with free throws. One shot will equal 1, 2, or 3 points until the final minute of each quarter. And Kai Soto almost had the jam. There's Filipino fans in attendance here in Chicago who almost gave a standing ovation until they negated the dunk.
I'm not sure. I like that dunk. I like the fact that he was aggressive going to the basket. Might have been a little bit in the cylinder, but really great attempt.
With the right hand, Muthrain missing. Here come the Knicks in transition. They trail 6-0. The young Lithuanian driving. That's off the mark for Marciulionis. Alley-oop attempt and drive it down. The easy jam, converting for Samuel Aribi, the Nigerian.
And Samuel Aribi, has been a feature at Basketball Out Border Camp, but he's part of the academy system. And I've seen his game really mature over the years.
Soft landing on the right-handed jam for Benedict Muthrain, and an immediate timeout. The Bulls utilizing their length and speed to burst out to a 10-0 lead with 11:32 left in this first half of play.
And when you call a timeout when you only have 2 for the whole game, that means that there is a problem, right? So this is, the Bulls came out and they have been playing at a pretty amazing clip. And now that, I think a little bit the Knicks has to respond to that. And I think it's good because this is the championship game. They've been playing all weekend. This is a chance for them to be seen by all these people who came out to watch them. And even all the other guys are now around the floor watching. Right. This is an homage to all the people that are here today.
Final game of the global camp here in Chicago. We'll name an MVP as well before we're out this afternoon. Looking back at MVPs from the past, 2019, you had Dani Avdija, who now plays for Maccabi Tel Aviv, and Kai Soto, the Philippine sensation. There are Philippine fans here in attendance who know about Kai Soto, and there's his countrymen and women back home who are watching on the FIBA YouTube channel who I can hear the roars from across the globe.
And Kai Soto, that's a pretty difficult move, very skilled. Clearly, he is a pretty outstanding player with a good skill set. I'm curious to see what his career is going to look like and where he's going to go.
Evan Perisovic missing the 3, youngster from Croatia. Soto near the right baseline. Tried to post up the defender and poking the ball out of play with Samuel Aribi. So the Knicks will get it right back. The running clock continues to move. 10:24 left in this first half. The youngster from China, Owen Chu, on the inbound. Juan Bagarain. Right wing 3, ring it up. One of the top recruits in the 2021 class, the Frenchman, Juan Bagarain. That's a name you're going to have to keep your eye on.
Yeah, Bagarain, you see him all through this weekend playing at a really high level, and now that he's seeing results where the ball is going into the basket.
6-point ball game, 12-6. Bulls with a 6-point lead. Knicks started to find their flow offensively. Chu missing a 3 from the left corner. Muthrain with the rebound. Almost tried to pass it to himself, it seemed, as he was going inside the lane. Muthrain step back. Won't give him continuation, but if he would have made that, oh, wow.
You see this kid right now and where he can go. His upside is incredible. I am not sure we've seen it yet. He is going to be an intriguing player as his career unfolds.
Soto whistled for the foul, reach in on Charles Bediaku. 6-point ball game with 9 minutes to go in this first half. The Bulls have possession in the near court. Wiggness. Bediaku had it stolen away from him. Loose ball. It's recovered by the Bulls. Mothrain thought about the three. And we'll get a whistle for a foul. Final game of the tournament. All eyes are on the center court as we wind down the global camp here from Chicago. The full hockey line change coming in as both coaches want to distribute minutes evenly to these guys, knowing it's their final game of the camp.
And it's so important, right? Because a team is a team, and you want everybody to have an opportunity to impact the game. And I think it's important to have some parity in that.
Chedek Sow. Pass going cross court, catch and shoot three is off the mark for Todorovic. Second chance opportunity. That is short for Esteban Rocho, the youngster from Mexico.
And the Bulls are just being ferocious on the offensive glass and really giving their team second and third opportunities. That is, as a coach, that is just a sight for sore eyes.
Both teams being instructed by assistant coaches from both New York Knicks, Chicago Bulls. So when you got to tip your cap to the Bulls and their scouting here this weekend at the camp.
I feel like there is they have a comparative advantage. What do you think? Like home cooking?
Home cooking, I think so. I would agree with you there. And you had mentioned a couple of days ago about how intense the draft would be. Having seen it firsthand on Friday at the start of the camp, all of these coaches, their competitive juices started flowing. They wanted to pick the right group of guys and girls to turn out a victory.
Well, the funny thing is everybody start off, oh, we're all here for the kids and everything is great, which is true. There's no question. But somewhere along the line, the competitive juice kicks in and they all want to win and they want the best players. I've gotten texts like, who do you think? Who's your top three? I'm like, I'm paying for that. You need to pay for my services.
Bulls have possession with 7 minutes to go in this first half. Rocho. Todorovic, and the Serbian traveled. Think back to a fellow Serbian in this Basketball Without Borders camp, Nikola Mirotic, who now plays for Barcelona, spent time with the Chicago Bulls, a highly touted European talent. He's now playing for one of the biggest clubs in Europe. Nice soft jumper that sinks through for 47. Jackie Chu from China, 6'6" small guard, considered a wing. Great score.
An intermediate game is really on point. I mean, they're stepping into that, taking a 15-foot jump shot so big.
Elbow jumper off the mark for 77, Jerry Ngopat from the Central African Republic. Another turnover. Here come the Bulls on the other end. Rocho off contact, one-handed no, gets his own putback off the right glass.
And Rocho having the presence of mind, finish a shot. Don't really take your eye off the ball until the ball goes to the basket. Really basketball one-on-one, and he was on point there.
You think about Mexicans in the NBA, first to come to mind is El Guado Nahara, who played with the Dallas Mavericks, and Rocho trying to carve his own path as a Mexican in professional basketball. He takes a spill and we get a foul. The NBA G League next year will have a professional team in Mexico, so that's really carving the path for young men and women in Mexico who are playing basketball.
And Nahara, we had some really good fights in my career. But, I mean, yeah, and I think it speaks to where the academy game is going. We're in Mexico. We have an academy team for Latin America, two in China, one in Australia, one in India, one in Senegal. So you can see the trajectory of the NBA trying to really take this game global in a quick way.
Great steal, unable to get the putback. A good job defensively by the young Dominican Juan Mateo, who's currently playing in an academy in Spain. He's a part of the NBA Academy Latin America. And I saw him earlier this morning in one of the scrimmage games. He picked up a rebound. He jumped off the floor. Some would say he's undersized as a guard, but the way he was grabbing those boards, he was competing with some of the guys who are 6'10", 6'11".
It's amazing. The athleticism of these guys is extraordinary. No matter the size, they compete and they have it all.
Rocho very aggressive through a double team. He's rewarded with a shooting foul. 4-point ball game as the Knicks started off cold here in the early going. Good job defensively, and they find themselves within striking distance down a point.
And that's talk about a tactical timeout, really getting them going, bringing them together, taking a moment, relax, getting them back into play. And since the timeout, have been extraordinary. Talk about the quality of coaching at the bench as well.
Rocho made his 2-point free throw. 6-point affair. Inside, we get a whistle, and they're going to call the offensive foul.
Oh, I have a second of opinion.
How difficult is that for a young big inside where you don't want to give up that offensive foul, but you're still trying to create space and get positioning?
And I think part of what you want to look at as a referee is whether or not he displaced the player or he went down and created space. There's a difference between creating space and moving a player out.
Speaking of creating space, Moussa Diabate took a dribble and delivered a nasty two-handed jam. 8-point game. Montero missing on a contested look off the left glass.
And Montero, that was some hops on that play, really giving himself a really great chance of dunking that ball.
Nice finish inside. You can hear the hard slap, but the finesse by the 6'9" power forward from France, Moussa Diabate.
And Diabate, what was extraordinary about that move, it was a progression almost where he went from, okay, I don't have this, let me go to the next one, let me go to the third. He had about 3 moves in that play. That is so extraordinarily difficult to do at this stage where you're not only mastering your primary move, you're thinking 2-3 moves ahead. And that progression is what it takes to be an elite basketball player. And there's no question where you see a guy like that in a camp like this. He is pretty extraordinary.
10-point ball game as the clock continues to run as we approach 2 minutes to go in this first half. Final game of the global camp. Good job defensively by Montero to get the steal. And his aggression allows for a free throw to come up for the Knicks, and getting set to shoot the free throw will be no free throws. Instead, they'll award an inbound in front of the Knicks bench.
I thought there was definitely a free throw for sure.
Foul was Adama Sonogo from Mali.
And Sonogo had a little control of the ball just for a second, but I think they thought that he didn't have full control.
Late pass from Montero forces the turnover. As we approach the 1-minute mark here in this first half, the final game of the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp. And they're going to reset the clock to 1 minute. So the running clock stops at 1 minute. And it's back to the normal rules as Todorovic gets some separation. Jumper is short from the left side.
I thought you were going to say old-fashioned rules.
What a dunk inside from Sonogo from Mali. 6 feet, 9 inches tall, has been in the United States for a couple of seasons playing high school basketball. 8-point game. Final 30 seconds. Right corner, rainbow jumper. Off the mark, rebound, second chance, no. Hitting the deck was Diabate. Wanted a foul, doesn't get the call. Diabate wanted a whistle earlier, now is whistled for the foul.
And that was clearly a frustration foul. Diabate thought, I got fouled, I got hammered. And then, as most young players do, they instantly react. And the referee usually catch the second act, not the first.
At the free throw lines, the German Luke von Sluten, 17 years of age. Played last summer at the Basketball Without Borders European camp in Latvia. As he sinks the first free throw. A one-shot free throw after the final minute goes back to the traditional free throw methods as Van Slooten misses the second free throw. Great quickness by Orocho to find Chedek Sao with a fast transition bucket. 22-13 is our score. 4 seconds left and a final opportunity for the Bulls to close out the half. The Bulls will inbound in front of the Knicks bench. 4 seconds left. Van Slooten tried to steal the inbound, and he is whistled immediately.
And there's no question as the first half come to an end, what you see is really high quality basketball from guys who really want to be here, enjoy this stage, and is putting on a show for all of us.
It's hard to believe 3 seconds will be 16 minutes away from this camp winding down. Just a fast weekend here in Chicago.
Indeed. It's a dizzying pace.
Before we step into the half, what's next for the Basketball Without Borders and the NBA Academy Caps? Where are you guys headed to next?
Well, I think that what you're going to see is that what we try to do is really integrate the camp where there is already a pre-existing NBA activity. So be it the G League showcase, the Final Four. This summer there will be a big opportunity as well.
3 at the buzzer. Bank shot. He called it. I heard him. Gene Montero from the Dominican Republic closes out the first half with a banker.
Montero, man, I love the spunk of this kid, man. He comes out and he is putting on a show, man. I love this. When you have an opportunity, when you have a stage, you got to come out and just leave it all out there. And you see him doing that, taking the final shot and banking it home. And he called it.
Oh, he did call it. I heard him as he was in midair. He said bank shot. I heard it. How about the quickness? So there was 3 seconds left to go from the full length of the floor to midcourt to put up a shot like that.
No, that's amazing. That is high quality basketball and court awareness, knowing time and shoot situation. Impressive.
Donald Foyle, Julio Rousseau, thrilled you're joining us as we get set for the second half here from Chicago at the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp. Next year's All-Star Game, I hate to break it to you, it's still in the cold in Indianapolis, but the camp will continue at the All-Star Game in Indy next winter.
I'm trying to bring it to the Caribbean. Wouldn't it be nice if we were in the Caribbean? I mean, everybody would want to show up.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Adam, we could do this. We could take it to the islands.
It's been a tremendous honor to be here with you all throughout the weekend at the Basketball Without Borders Camp. My eyes has truly been open to see the amount of talent from all over the world. Mali, Egypt, Estonia, Canada, Australia, Lithuania. It's just been a treat. It's been an honor to be here all weekend long. It's been a pleasure to be with you, Donald, all weekend long. And we've got one more half of basketball, my friend.
Absolutely. 34 countries, and these guys have put on a performance here. 64, high school level players. This has been truly extraordinary, and I'm so honored to be a part of it.
Driving down the right baseline, count it, and a foul for the young Canadian Charles Bediaku.
And Bediaku, what I like about that play, getting the hit and still having the presence of mind to get the ball in the basket, that's something as you get to be a more established player that has to become routine. And you see him learning that just from the first to the second half.
Kai Soto inside. A whistle, and Soto will head to the stripe. He's attending prep school outside of Atlanta, Georgia. He's a part of the 2020 recruiting class, being offered scholarships from some of the top universities across the United States. He's from the Philippines, and he's trying to be one of those first Filipinos to crack the NBA.
And I think he has the skill set to do it. I mean, you see him, he has a good touch inside, has a good presence on the post, and is looking for opportunities to shoot over the top when necessary. He's rebounding. So I think he has the package. Now it's a question of maturing into that role as he hit the free throw.
And this form at the free throw line as well, very natural for a skilled big man like Soto. Step back three is off the mark for Mothrain as the Knicks trying to go on a run to make this a tighter second half of play. Strong one-handed cross-court pass. Chu, the Chinese for three. No, rebound. And we get a foul, and headed towards the line will be a man with basketball in his genes, no doubt about it. Augustus Marciulionis from Lithuania. His father experienced in the NBA, Basketball Hall of Famer in 2014, and he's trying to keep the tradition going in the Marciulionis family.
Talk about good pedigree, right? I mean, that's the second iteration, is having that legacy players where NBA players are now having kids that are now having an impact at the end, potentially not just at the high school and college level, but hopefully in the future the NBA level.
Marciulionis is currently playing in Lithuanian's second division. And he's handling the point for the Knicks. No-look pass towards the left wing. Stepping in for a catch-and-shoot three. Launching himself and draining the three is young 6'1" Augusto Cruz de Oliveira Casilla from Brazil. What a three for the young Brazilian who is really trying to make a name for himself as he made that three, wincing in pain a little bit just a second ago from the defensive end.
And as Badiagu got back to the line after having an inside shot earlier, got another opportunity to get fouled and go to the line to shoot one.
Cruz de Oliveira Casilla, Brazilian, is being mentored by a fellow Brazilian and a Basketball Without Borders alum in Cristiano Felicia, who's on the Knicks bench, member of the Chicago Bulls.
I mean, this is an abundance of riches, having these players and having the people around them that is teaching them at the highest level of our sport. I can't tell you what a luxury that is, to be learning from Vin Baker and all of these great players coming in, talking to you, sharing with you. Unbelievable.
When you think of a country like Brazil, soccer-rich nation, but for a guy like Casilla, nice behind-the-back pass, nearly getting the dunk, but what a block by the Brazilian Casilla. And a nice finger roll finish for Samuel Aribi, the Nigerian.
And Samuel Aribi, right place, right time, but an amazing block. The big men down low, they're fighting, they're competing. That's what you want to see.
Pass intended for Chu is stolen away, but stealing it right back is the young Frenchman, Bagarin, who will steal it and get the bucket.
And Bagarin, I mean, just an unbelievable talent. You could see the future for this young man is quite extraordinary. Very bright indeed.
Juan Bagarin was the MVP. Ooh, nice spin, pivot, finish off the left window for the Aussie, Tamri Wignes.
And Tamri Wignes, I just love the way he played because he's so fiery. He yields nothing. He competes on both ends of the floor. And that time you see him making very, very nice move.
Bagarin for a three, no. Wignes with the rebound. Outlet pass was intended for 64 Pedosovic. And on the other end, a whistle and a foul is going to be called on Wignes.
And these guys are up in the ante for the last 10 minutes and 30 seconds here. We're seeing some high-quality basketball. Unreal. Love it.
And just looking back at the most recent alums from this Basketball Without Borders global camp, you think of Ernest Cantor from Turkey, Tomas Satoransky, Czech Republic, Pascal Siakam, who attended a small mid-major school here in North America, New Mexico State, now a superstar in the NBA. Lauri Markkanen from Finland. These aren't necessarily basketball hub nations. Excuse me while I kiss the sky, soaring like the Chicago skyscraper. Benedict Mothrain.
I mean,
wow.
Benedict Moraine has been playing at an incredible clip. He is competing to be the best player in this camp, and he wants everybody to know it. There will be no doubt as to where he stands.
Everyone's still talking about that dunk. I'm looking to my left. George Mirosawa still can't believe that dunk he just saw. Sensational. But as I was saying before the dunk, some of these countries where these alums come from aren't considered basketball hubs, but these guys are now stars in the NBA, and the future from these countries are seeing this and may want to pick up a basketball.
Indeed, and what you've seen as well, what a wonderful play. What you've seen as well is that, these guys are playing, but then when you have Pascal Siakam walking into the gym, that is incredible.
Back-to-back trips, showing you why he's a talented Frenchman and considered a highly touted recruit here in the United States. Juan Bagarain, the Frenchman, 17 years of age, was the MVP of the Basketball Without Borders European camp, and he's showing you why.
And Bagarain it's unreal. I mean, that quality of play, that intensity, going strong to the basket and getting there by any means necessary, really, really, really impressive.
5-point game, 8 minutes to go. We're in for an exciting finish, O'Donnell. That is guaranteed.
There's no question about that. And these guys have earned the right to be on this stage, and they are playing. They're really having an impact. We have people behind us whispering, and they're saying the future of basketball is in good hands.
Catch and shoot three is off the mark for 51, Stefan Tudovic. Here come the Knicks in transition. And that hesitation on the pass resulted in a turnover for Luke Van Sluten.
And what Luke is going to have to learn is that part of passing in the air is a very, very difficult thing because everybody's just as athletic. What you want to do, come down in the paint, really start using fakes and giving yourself an opportunity to get a completed pass. That play there gets you in a lot of trouble at any level.
Top side three is off the mark for Van Sluten. By Ocho. Working quickly in transition. Totudovic. Directing traffic, looking to go inside. And a reach and foul. It is going to be called on Luke Van Sluten. And tension starting to flare here in this championship game.
They were kumbayaing for a moment, but now it's serious. Now it's winning time.
That's
so
right.
Now everybody's getting a little chippy down there because they want to win. And that's the thing about sports is that at the end of the game, it's all going to be good. But in the competition, in the heat of battle, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of I want this game more than you. I want to win. And I always love that. I love the competitiveness of when you come out there and say, you know what, I want to win. And there's nothing wrong with winning.
7 minutes to go in this championship game. Right wing three, off the mark, fighting for the rebound. A whistle and a foul, missing the three. A moment ago was Cheick Sao from Senegal. And stepping to the free throw line, Moussa Diabate from France.
And Diabate is really being aggressive down low, giving his team a lot of opportunities. You want to see that in a big man, but you want to see it with any player where you can go down low and really create impact for your team.
Whistle inside, a foul. And again, the big men showing you their quickness inside. Adama Sanogo from Mali.
And Sanogo is a big talent. I love his build. He really built like a football player in ways, but he has that body that as he grows into that body, he is going to be a beast in the paint. And he have the skill out in the pyramid as well. That combination and his body type, he's going to make some coach very, very happy.
5-point ball game. Ocho. Soft lob inside. Pass was intended for Diabate. And it will bounce out of play. It was last touched by the Knicks. Clock continues to run. 5:20 to go here in this final game of the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp here from Chicago. Whistle before the shot attempt. Tudovic is saying, oh, that was going to go in. What was the whistle for?
What was the whistle? Precious seconds off the clock. Come on, let's go, let's go.
Under 5 minutes to play. Bulls looking to close out the camp as winners. Ryocho for 3 off the front side of the iron. Intercepted by Ryocho. Good recognition. Looking to go 2 for 2. Gets the ball stolen away from him by Montero. Knicks on the other end. Catch and shoot. 3 left side. Well, short ball will bounce nearly out of play. Blake Jones missing it. The Aussie from Brisbane, Australia, a second ago. 39-34. 5-point lead for the Bulls. Ryocho. The Mexican took one dribble. Tudovic off a screen. Shot clock at 3. Tudovic 4-3. Ring it up.
Oh, and the patience and the concentration on that shot. Really big time play.
Stefan Tudovic 4-3 was a part of last summer's Basketball Without Borders European camp. Member of the Serbian national team.
And Jean Montero again giving himself an opportunity to go to the line and getting some easy basket. You gotta love his ferocity in which he plays the game. Really competing at both ends of the floor. That's really the hallmark of what you want to see in a young player.
An alum of the NBA Latin American Academy. 42-37, Bulls with the lead as the clock continues to wind down. Just over 3 minutes to go. Here in this appetizer before the NBA All-Star game begins.
The buffet.
That's right.
There's a buffet later. And after the dunk competition tonight, we're in for a whole lot. There's rule changes tonight for the All-Star game. I think it's going to be quite an extraordinary night.
Tudovic, the Serbian, met with a double team and traveled the ball. The traveling violation gives the ball right back to the Knicks as they want to keep the pressure on the Bulls. They're down 42-37. And the officials at the scorer's table. Clock stopped momentarily. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Now some house cleaning issues between the officials. (42-37) is our score as we conclude our final game of the weekend here in Chicago. The Knicks will have possession. They'll have to go the full length of the floor. They're inbounding right in front of their bench. Jean Montero, left-handed dribble. Montero galloping towards the lane. Chu, back to Montero. 8 on the shot clock. Montero deep 3, circles in. The Dominican one-on-one with a Mexican, and Jean Montero sinks the 3.
And Montero has kind of been developing right in front of our eyes. We see him really rushing things a little bit early in this game to calming himself down and finding the right pace of the game in which he could be effective.
Oh my, the runner is good along the right baseline. Counted for the young Mexican Esteban Roacho. No, Roacho was in the left wing, curled around down the baseline and got the runner with the right hand.
And saying, you know what? Yeah, I could do this too. I got skilled. No, that was amazing. And a very difficult shot from Nitz in possible angles. He didn't have the opportunity to use the glass as much. He had to get that ball straight in. Very difficult.
5-point ball game, final 90 seconds at our final game of the weekend here from Chicago. Left-handed finish. What a move by Sanogo.
Sanogo, I like that move. Went into the paint and take a little extra step and getting that nice finish over the top.
Big possession for the Knicks. Trying to get a defensive stop, Mathane, as we hit the 1-minute mark. Handing it off. Diabate. Oh, what a steal. Good job defensively by Sonogo. And a critical possession to tie this game up.
And Sonogo has such quick feet. You want to see that in your big man, being able to defend out in the perimeter.
Corner three for Von Sluten, no. Rebound through two defenders, and we've got a one-point game. Adama Sonogo, who's playing his high school basketball in New Jersey, top 50 player in the United States. He is showing you why.
Sonogo, I mean, being able to go out on the perimeter as a big man and defend, moving your feet, going into the corner, seeing an opportunity to trap, taking it, and then getting back up here, getting an offensive rebound, and putting it in over three people. Man, the future is good for basketball, don't you think?
Oh, without a doubt. The future is bright. The game is going to continue to grow. I wouldn't be surprised, Donald, in 5 to 10 years if we see an NBA team all starting five from players from overseas with a head coach who's from overseas. I mean, we're trending towards that trajectory.
There is no question. When you look at the rising stars and you look at how these guys and they're starting to have teams competing even here at the All-Star Weekend, you're seeing the imprints of that. You're seeing the imprints of players that are not they're defining themselves on the larger stage. You know, I got a chance to play with some great players from overseas, and you're seeing that more and more in younger players. Like Dirk Nowitzki, he took a long time to get to that level, but then you see the next iteration of him in Luka coming
out.
in.
Oh, my goodness. Excuse me while I kiss the sky again. A monster jam. Benedict Mothrain, the oohs and ahs from the crowd at Quest Multisport after the jam. Mothrain on the floor, gets up, and you hear the applause from the crowd at Quest Multisport. What a jam.
Holy moly, that is some explosiveness. And the poor rim is still crying, and he took a spill. But I'm telling you, that spill doesn't hurt as much because you finished that dunk than if you didn't.
Sensational from the right wing again. Two dribbles inside, flying high to get the completed dunk.
That was extraordinary. And this young man is saying, I am the MVP of this tournament. Please give me my trophy.
Benedict Mothrain, you heard the reaction from the crowd, appreciating what this young Canadian just did a moment ago.
Benedict Mothrain has really made a name for himself and has been playing at an elite level here all weekend. We've seen him miss some shots. Today he has put it all together, and he has been performing at a very high level.
He's
quite impressive.
Still wincing in a little bit of pain after the dunk, but as you say, that pain well earned.
Well earned.
You'll enjoy it more after.
Indeed.
After that, after he looks back at the replay and saying, "Oh, that was pretty good."
When his friends start calling him later and texting him,
right.
telling him, "Oh my goodness," he would say, "I don't feel as much pain."
Yeah. That was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Luke Von Sluten at the free throw line. It's a 3-point ball game with 27 seconds left. And Von Sluten makes the second free throw. And now we've got a 1-point affair. 2 free throws converted for Von Sluten. And back to a pressure situation with 27.6 seconds left. They actually changed the score once again, so it's 47-45. We'll get that confirmed. But 2-point game, another big possession coming up. What a finish to this camp. Sensational stuff we're seeing from both teams.
I don't think anybody in here is bored, and I think a lot of people are taking notes because they're seeing a future that is quite extraordinary. They're seeing players that have tremendous upside. They're seeing high-quality basketball. I mean, this is unbelievable to see these guys take this stage, this big stage with everybody watching, taking notes, make an impact, and play at this higher level. Quite impressive.
They're making alumnus proud from Basketball Without Borders like Jonas Valanciunas, Gorge Pataze, Andre Drummond. All three have something in common, high draft picks in the NBA draft. 2-point game, a big possession here for the Bulls. They're up 47-45. Mothrain guarded by another big prospect in Bagadain. It's the matchup you want to see. Two top players going one-on-one in a critical juncture of the game. Mothrain's going to let the clock dribble. 3 on the shot clock. Mothrain, a late whistle, and they're going to give the foul with 4.2 seconds to go.
Well, opportunity now to go to the free throw line and make some big free throws. That is part of this game, and why should the end of the game be any different?
So 2 free throws coming up for Benedict Mothrain, and he missed the first. That's a pressure free throw.
That's a pressure free throw, and that's why these moments are important, because you want to be able to practice to go to the line, collect your nerve, take a deep breath. I mean, you just have an extraordinary play, and the free throw is such a boring endeavor, yet it's a lot of pressure when the game is on the line. Really taking a breath, relax, and embracing the moment.
Mothrain's second free throw. It's up, it's off the mark, loose ball. It's recovered by the Bulls. A quick foul. The Knicks needed that defensive board to call a quick timeout to set up a final play. Instead, the Bulls, with 0.8 of a second left, are on the verge of being Basketball Without Borders Global Camp champs for 2020.
Very exciting stuff.
Wigness at the free throw line, a man who's played in some big games already in his young career, represented Australia in the under-17 and under-19 FIBA World Cups.
That is a resume for a young man that is still coming into his own and continue to show why he belongs on this floor.
Half-court prayer for Bagadain was off the mark, and you can see the expression on these young players. The Bulls are the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp men's champs. That expression says it all. They're walking away from a great weekend of hard work as champions.
And why not? I mean, this is a really great opportunity for them to showcase their skill. They get to see, great NBA players, and they get to see all these old-timers coming in, sharing with them. I am just so happy that they're having this moment, a moment that they're going to remember for the rest of their life. We hope that all of these players makes it to the next level. But think about it. If your basketball journey ended tomorrow or a week from now, you could say you play on some of the largest stage, and you had you've been trained and taught by some of the greatest players who ever played the game. That's remarkable.
Donald Foyle, Julio Rousseau wrapping things up. What a tremendous weekend of basketball here from the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp. We'll take a quick break. We'll talk with another star of the game. That's coming up next. Wrapping up the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp here in Chicago. A big victory for the Bulls, the player of the game. We meet again. Bonjour to Benedict Mothrain. You just gave the dunk of the tournament a moment ago. How are you feeling? You came up in a little bit of pain, but you heard the reaction from the crowd. That was a pretty nasty jam.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I felt great. I mean, because I've worked a lot, so just doing this in the game makes me think that my work pays off a lot,
This game came down literally to the final few possessions of the game. Sort of what you want a championship game to feel like. What were the emotions like on the floor throughout the game today?
I think I was really stressed, because we really needed to trust each other.
Right.
And I feel like it was really hard to play against really good players, you know. So it was stressful and stuff. Yeah.
What's the biggest learning curve for you and the rest of the players here in this camp? You're put into a team right away. Language barriers. What was the biggest takeaway from playing with guys from all different parts of the world in such a quick fashion like this?
The biggest takeaway was just give your maximum. Don't think that because they're from another country they're better than you, because they're taller, because they're bigger. They're telling you have to give your maximum you have to give your maximum every time, and just do your best.
What did you learn from players from all over the world during this weekend's camp? We've seen guys from Egypt, Mexico,
yeah.
Chile, the Netherlands, all different parts of the world. What did you learn from some of these players?
I learned that everybody's working out. You know, it's not because he's really far away that they're not working out. Like, everybody's in the gym, everybody's doing their best. So you just have to keep going in. Yeah.
As you decide where you're going to take your next step of your career, how excited are you about potentially playing in the United States collegiately and trying to take your game to the next level?
I'm really excited to go to the University of Arizona. I mean, they're my style of play, and I just love the game. So I'm going to do my best over there and try to win the championship.
You're from Quebec, so no jackets really required when you go to Arizona in the winter. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to seeing you in Arizona playing collegially. Best of luck. It's been a pleasure watching you throughout the entire weekend. Benedict Martin, bonjour. Great weekend here in Chicago. We'll take a quick break here at the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp.